Hey guys, and welcome back to another lesson. This is going to be a quick little lesson in which we look at basically taking a simple chord progression and choosing chord voicings for these chords. And the progression we're going to use is a pretty simple one. It's a C major to a C dominant 7 to an F major to an F minor and back to a C major. So the first thing you do when you're sort of trying to decide about voicings and voice leadings is ask yourselves, are there any notes in common for these different chords? And there is one note in common if you've paid attention, which is a C. So here I have a C in my C major. The C stays down below here. For the F major, it appears up here. And for the F minor, it again appears up here. Now the fact that it's either above or below doesn't really matter. One of the things that we can do when voicing chords is double. So if I have this C major chord, I can double the C up here. And if I do this, if I play both the C on the bottom part and on the top part, what I'll end up are with these voicings. C, C dominant 7, F, and F minor. And back to a C major. So that's step number one. Now the second thing you'll ask yourself is, playing this, do you see any sort of motion that is smooth, that is of notes that are really close apart within these chords? And the answer is again yes. And let's see where this motion comes from. So did you catch it? It's really C, B flat, A flat, G, which is really sort of, so we have this note, sort of motion in our chords. And we can use this when constructing our bass. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically take these notes and transpose them down an octave and use them as my bass. So starting with this C, I'm going to play this C bass here. Of course, this is doubling, so just going to keep it. Then for the C dominant 7, I'm going to take this B flat and move it down an octave. That's going to be my bass. For the F, I'm going to take this A and move it down an octave. That's going to be my bass. And for the F minor, I'm going to take this A flat and move it down an octave. And going back to my C, I'm going to take this G and move it down an octave. So let's look at what we have now. And we can repeat it. And what I'm also going to do now, and that this is completely a personal choice, is I'm going to, because I have this shared C note in all of the chords, I'm going to play it as a bass. So I'm going to keep this bass down below, and this sort of acts kind of like a pedal note. So a pedal note is a kind of like a bass that stays the same while you repeat different chords in it, and you see it in a lot of different songs. Just as an example, so you see I've used my C in this progression as a pedal note. I'm going to use the same thing in our chord progression. So again, I'm going to keep this note moving down, but I'm also going to add this C below, and this is what we're going to get. And this repeats over and over. For the last step of this progression, I'm going to animate it a bit. So I've already done a bit of it because I haven't just played the chords themselves, but sort of gave them this motion. And we're going to keep doing this. So we've had but I'm also going to add motion to my bass in the left hand. So instead of just hitting the notes, I'm going to play them alternatingly. So does this remind you of something? Well, I'll let you figure it out for yourselves. There's more than one song that fits this particular progression. The one I'm thinking of comes from an album that has a particular color. Let's see if you can figure it out. That's it for now. I hope you've learned something interesting, and I'll see you next time.